For more than 7 decades, the United States and Russia have shaped the very definition of global power. Two titans, driven by different philosophies but bound by the same ambition, to never be second. The US builds its strength through precision, technology, and global presence, a military network that can strike anywhere, anytime. Russia, on the other hand, relies on endurance, raw firepower, and strategic resilience, systems built to survive and strike back under any condition. Together, they've created the most intense rivalry in modern history, one of speed versus strength, information versus instinct, and control versus chaos. But as warfare evolves, with AI-driven systems, hypersonic weapons, and space-based intelligence, the old balance of power is shifting. The question is no longer who has more weapons, but who can think, adapt, and strike faster in the modern battlefield. In this video, WarTech World takes you inside the real contest between these two military giants, uncovering the technology, strategy, and power moves that define the 21st century. Russia versus USA, who really holds the edge in military power? Stay tuned, this is where technology meets strategy. The American advantage, control through technology. For generations, the United States has defined the cutting edge of modern warfare, not by sheer numbers, but by mastery of technology, precision, and coordination. The American way of war isn't built on brute force. It's built on systems integration, on a military machine that moves like a living organism, satellites, aircraft, ships, sensors, and cyber networks all working in perfect synchronization. The foundation of this dominance lies in a concept the Pentagon calls network-centric warfare, the idea that victory doesn't come from having the biggest guns, but from having the fastest flow of information. Every U.S. combat platform, from a Marine squad on the ground to a B-21 bomber at 50,000 feet, feeds into a digital ecosystem that spans the globe. Data from satellites, radar, drones, and even individual soldiers' sensors merges into a single operational picture. Within seconds, a commander can see the battlefield in real time, and strike with unparalleled precision. At the very heart of this network is air superiority, the domain where America has consistently set the global benchmark. The F-35 Lightning II, arguably the most advanced multi-role stealth fighter ever built, is far more than an aircraft, it's a flying data fusion hub. Equipped with cutting-edge radar, infrared search systems, and AI-assisted targeting, the F-35 doesn't just engage enemies, it orchestrates the entire airspace around it. A single F-35 can identify threats hundreds of miles away, share that data instantly with ships, ground forces, and other aircraft, and coordinate a strike before the enemy even knows it's been detected. In practical terms, this transforms warfare from a reaction to a preemption. The enemy fires, America already knows. The radar blips appear, America already calculated the trajectory. The battle begins, and in many cases, ends, before a shot is fired. Supporting the F-35 is the next generation of U.S. long-range strike capability, the B-21 Raider. A direct successor to the legendary B-2 Spirit, the Raider represents a revolution in stealth and endurance. Designed for both conventional and nuclear missions, the B-21 can penetrate any known air defense network, travel intercontinental distances, and deliver precision strikes with surgical accuracy. Unlike older bombers, the Raider is digitally engineered, meaning every system can be updated or reconfigured in software, making it adaptable against evolving threats. Below the waves, the Columbia-class ballistic missile submarines, SSBNs, form the silent backbone of U.S. strategic deterrence. Operating undetected for months at a time, these submarines carry the most powerful deterrent weapons in the American arsenal, the Trident 2D5 ballistic missile. Together with the F-35 and B-21 B-21, they form a triad of air, sea, and land-based strike capability unmatched by any other nation. On the defensive front, the United States deploys one of the most sophisticated and layered missile defense networks on Earth. The Patriot PAC-3, THAAD, Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, and Aegis Ballistic Missile Defense System work in harmony to detect, track, and intercept incoming threats, whether ballistic, cruise, or hypersonic. Each layer is designed to counter a different stage of an attack, from high-altitude intercepts to terminal defense near the target. Integrated through systems like Link 16 and Command and Control Battle Management Communications, C2BMC, these assets can exchange targeting data in milliseconds, ensuring that no single missile or aircraft operates in isolation. But the real strength of the American military machine isn't just in its hardware, it's in its software, the brains, not the brawn. The US has invested decades into mastering the art of command, control, communications, computers, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, C4ISR. This complex web ensures that every branch of the armed forces, Air Force, Navy, Army, Marines, and Space Force, operates under a unified command structure with instantaneous data sharing. A soldier on the ground can request close air support, and within seconds, a satellite identifies the coordinates, a drone verifies the target, and a nearby F-35 or naval destroyer executes the strike, all coordinated automatically by the system. It's warfare designed for the 21st century, efficient, seamless, and devastatingly precise. This digital superiority extends into space. The U.S. Space Force, though young, has become the guardian of orbital infrastructure, protecting communication satellites, GPS systems, and early warning sensors that provide the real-time intelligence essential for modern operations. Space is the new high ground, and America has made sure it owns that view. Cyber warfare completes the picture. Behind every missile and aircraft lies a network defended by sophisticated cybersecurity operations run by U.S. Cyber Command. These units monitor digital battlefields 24/7, hunting for enemy intrusions, countering attacks, and even deploying offensive cyber operations that can disable hostile systems before they're ever launched. The result of all this is a force that doesn't just fight wars, it manages them. It decides when, where, and how battles unfold. While Russia builds weapons that inspire fear, the US builds systems that inspire control. Yet, as any strategist knows, control is only as strong as the information that sustains it. That's why the US is constantly evolving toward what the Pentagon calls Joint All-Domain Command and Control, JADC2, a future framework where every soldier, drone, and satellite shares a single digital brain. It's not science fiction, it's the next phase of modern warfare, where speed of data becomes the ultimate weapon. In the words of one senior U.S. Air Force general, "The side that can understand and act faster will win, every single time." That philosophy defines the American military advantage. It's not just about the F-35 stealth or the B-21's range. It's about the invisible web that ties every sensor, shooter, and decision-maker into one unified strike force. The United States doesn't just fight to win, it fights to know first, decide first, and end the fight before it truly begins. In an age where power is measured in milliseconds and megabytes as much as in missiles, the American edge is clear. Precision, speed, integration. It's not brute strength, it's smart power. And that is why the United States remains the most technologically dominant military force on Earth. The Russian doctrine, strength through endurance. If the United States builds its military to control, then Russia builds its military to endure. Where America seeks dominance through information and precision, Moscow relies on a philosophy forged in centuries of conflict, a belief that survival is victory, and resilience is the ultimate form of strength. Russia's doctrine is not built for fast wars or limited engagements. It is designed for existential struggle, for the kind of total conflict where endurance outlasts technology, and willpower outweighs strategy. This mindset stems from Russia's long military history. From Napoleon's invasion to the Great Patriotic War, the Russian state has always viewed war not as a battle for territory, but as a battle for survival. That legacy shapes every element of its modern arsenal, and at the heart of that arsenal stands a weapon that defines Russia's deterrence philosophy, the RS-28 Sarmat. The Sarmat is not merely a missile, it is an engineering declaration of intent. Towering over 30 meters tall and weighing close to 200 tons, this intercontinental system embodies the concept of guaranteed response. It can reach any target on Earth, covering more than 18,000 kilometers, and deliver multiple independent payloads, each capable of taking a separate flight path. In simple terms, even if global defense systems detect it, they cannot stop it. Unlike older designs, the Sarmat can launch over both the North and South Poles, making its trajectory unpredictable to radar systems and missile shields. It is reported to carry up to 15 independently targetable re-entry vehicles, MIRVs, including potential hypersonic gliders. Each one moves at extraordinary speed, able to change direction mid-flight, turning interception into an unsolvable puzzle. The message behind Sarmat is clear: no strike against Russia will go unanswered. It is not a weapon of conquest, but of deterrence through inevitability, a system built to ensure that even in the darkest scenario, Russia's ability to respond remains unquestionable. But Russia's strength extends beyond its strategic missile forces. In the skies, the Su-57 Felon represents Moscow's answer to fifth-generation warfare. While the US F-35 emphasizes stealth and digital integration, the Su-57 embodies a more aggressive philosophy: speed, agility, and lethality. It can reach Mach 2, perform extreme maneuvers at high altitude, and engage in close-range combat where raw aerodynamic performance still matters. Its stealth profile may not equal the F-35's radar signature, but the Su-57 compensates through its ability to carry advanced air-to-air missiles, infrared sensors, and electronic countermeasures, making it a deadly hunter in both beyond visual range and dogfight scenarios. It is less about invisibility and more about survivability in chaos. Beneath the oceans, the Yazan-class nuclear attack submarines patrol silently under Arctic waters. They are among the most advanced and quietest submarines ever built by Russia, equipped with Caliber and Onyx cruise missiles that can strike targets more than 2,500 kilometers away. Their near-silent propulsion systems make them incredibly difficult to track, and their mission is clear: to guarantee second strike capability from anywhere in the world's oceans. Russia understands that as long as these submarines remain undetected, its deterrence remains alive. This triad, Sarmat on land, Yazan beneath the sea, and Su-57 in the skies, represents the backbone of Russia's strategic endurance. But what truly distinguishes Russia in the modern era is its leap into hypersonic technology, a field where it currently leads the world. The Avangard hypersonic glide vehicle and the Kinzhal air-launched missile are the symbols of that leap. Traveling beyond Mach 10, both systems can maneuver dynamically in the atmosphere, rendering traditional intercept strategies obsolete. Unlike ballistic missiles, which follow predictable parabolic paths, hypersonic glide vehicles can skip through the atmosphere, changing direction mid-course. That makes them not only fast but untrackable by most radar systems. When combined with Russia's early warning satellite and radar network, these weapons give Moscow the ability to strike with speed, precision, and unpredictability, qualities that shift the balance of deterrence in ways not seen since the Cold War. However, the purpose of these weapons isn't simply to intimidate. They fit into a broader doctrine known as escalate to de-escalate, a strategy built on controlled escalation. The idea is to signal strength so decisively that no adversary dares to cross the line. This is psychological warfare on a strategic scale, when not through fighting, but through the fear of fighting. Russia's military philosophy accepts that it may not match the US in total defense spending or technological integration. Instead, it builds systems that exploit asymmetry, weapons that are difficult, expensive, or impossible for an adversary to counter effectively. In this sense, every new missile, submarine, or aircraft is part of a chess game designed to offset Western advantages at a fraction of the cost. In cyber warfare, electronic warfare, and space defense, Russia applies the same principles, not always the most advanced, but often the most resilient. Its systems are designed to operate even when communications are disrupted, satellites are jammed, or infrastructure is destroyed. This is where Russia's military mindset stands apart. It doesn't seek dominance, it seeks endurance. Its doctrine assumes that war will be long, destructive, and uncertain, and that the side capable of surviving the first blow will ultimately dictate the peace that follows.
I am initiating countermeasures.
In the calculus of deterrence, Russia has turned fear into an instrument of stability. Every missile test, every submarine patrol, every hypersonic demonstration sends the same message to the world: Russia will never be disarmed. Russia will never be silenced. While the US seeks to command the future through networks and precision, Russia commands the present through inevitability and resolve. Its power lies not in quantity or perfection, but in the understanding that no adversary can win without paying an unbearable price. That is the essence of the Russian doctrine. Strength through endurance. A philosophy not of conquest, but of survival, one that has shaped centuries of Russian warfare, and will continue to define its military strategy well into the future. Strategic thinking, two philosophies of power. At the core of global power lies not just weapons, but philosophy, the guiding principle that shapes how a nation prepares for, fights, and prevents war. Nowhere is this contrast more visible than in the doctrines of the United States and Russia, two superpowers that share the same ambition for security, but pursue it through fundamentally different paths. The American philosophy of power is built around control through connectivity. The United States believes dominance comes from presence and precision, the ability to project force anywhere on the globe within hours, while maintaining absolute situational awareness. This concept is embodied in the US military's vast network of allied bases, satellite constellations, and real-time data links. Every American operation, from airstrikes in the Middle East to patrols in the Pacific, is tied to a single operational truth: to see first, decide first, and strike first. That's why the US pours immense resources into systems like JADC2, Joint All-Domain Command and Control, which unites land, air, sea, cyber, and space into a single responsive network. It's not just an army or a navy, it's a global nervous system, capable of detecting threats anywhere and neutralizing them before they escalate. In contrast, Russia's philosophy of power is rooted in endurance through adaptability. Where America seeks to dominate the battlefield, Russia seeks to survive it. Moscow doesn't attempt to match the US in global logistics or digital integration. Instead, it focuses on mobility, deception, and survivability. From mobile ICBM launchers to rapidly deployable air defense systems, Russia builds assets designed to remain functional even in chaos. For the Kremlin, victory isn't measured in territory or speed, but in the ability to deny an enemy a decisive win. Every Russian defense system, from the S-400 missile batteries to its sprawling network of hardened bunkers and silos, reflects this mindset. Even if command structures are hit, the doctrine ensures response capability endures. This principle forms the backbone of what strategists call the second strike guarantee, the assurance that even after absorbing a massive blow, Russia can still retaliate with overwhelming force. Both nations, despite their differences, operate within a shared understanding of reality. The first strike no longer decides the war. In the nuclear and post-nuclear age, what matters is the ability to respond, to convince your opponent that any act of aggression will trigger an equal or greater response. This is the essence of what defense analysts term mutual assured deterrence, MAD. It's a paradoxical balance, one built not on trust, but on fear of consequence. The US maintains a triad of precision-guided power, stealth bombers, ballistic submarines, and intercontinental missiles. Russia counters with mobile ICBMs, hypersonic gliders, and deep underground command networks. Each understands that true security comes not from disarming the other, but from ensuring both can never risk total war. In this equation, perfection isn't found in offense or defense, it's found in psychology. The goal isn't to fire first, it's to make your adversary hesitate forever. That hesitation, that constant calculation of risk, is what keeps the balance of power alive. And as both nations modernize, this silent dialogue of deterrence continues, an unspoken agreement between two masters of survival, to possess power, but never unleash it. The new arms race, speed and information. The nature of warfare is changing faster than ever before. The next great conflict won't be decided by tanks, ships, or even missiles, it will be decided by data. The modern battlefield now extends into an invisible domain where information, speed, and connectivity define victory or defeat. Both the United States and Russia understand this transformation. Each is racing to dominate the new frontier, not just the skies above, but the digital networks that connect every soldier, satellite, and weapon system below. For the US, the strategy is clear: build the most advanced AI-driven defense ecosystem the world has ever seen. Through programs like Joint All-Domain Command and Control, JADC2, Washington is building a network that links all branches of the military, land, air, sea, cyber, and space, into a single, unified combat brain. Every sensor becomes a node, every platform a contributor. An F-35 detects a threat, instantly, that data is relayed to a destroyer at sea or a Patriot battery on land. A drone swarm identifies enemy armor. Within seconds, an AI system calculates strike options and executes autonomously. This is not science fiction, it's the future of algorithmic warfare, where decisions once made by humans are now accelerated by machines. But Russia has no intention of playing by America's rules. Instead of trying to match the US system for system, Moscow is pursuing asymmetrical dominance, exploiting weaknesses in America's digital dependency. The Kremlin is investing in hypersonic glide vehicles, advanced electronic warfare, and space-based radar systems capable of jamming or blinding enemy satellites. While the US seeks total network integration, Russia focuses on how to disrupt, deceive, and destabilize that network. In this new arms race, a hypersonic missile traveling at Mach 10 can destroy a command center in minutes, but a single cyber attack could cripple an entire defense grid in seconds. The front line has moved from the trenches to the circuits. What's emerging is not a contest of brute strength, but of computational agility, who can think, react, and adapt faster than the other. Speed has become the ultimate weapon, and information the ammunition. This new war won't announce itself with explosions. It will begin quietly, in data streams, in coded commands, in the silent decisions of artificial intelligence. The arms race of the 21st century is invisible, relentless, and already underway. And in this race, the victor won't be the one with the largest army, but the one who controls the world's fastest mind. Conclusion: who holds the edge? 350 words, written in the authoritative tone of a senior military strategist, cinematic and reflective. So, who truly holds the edge in global military power? The answer, like modern warfare itself, is complex. The United States, with its unparalleled global presence, technological dominance, and ability to coordinate across every domain, air, land, sea, space, and cyber, remains the most capable military machine on Earth. Its reach is unmatched, its precision unquestioned. America's advantage lies not only in the sophistication of its weapons, but in the architecture of control that binds them together: satellites, AI-driven command systems, and an alliance network stretching across the globe. It is a force designed to act anywhere, anytime, with speed and coordination no other nation can replicate. But Russia holds a different kind of power, one rooted in endurance, unpredictability, and resilience. While it may not match the US in global logistics or networked warfare, Russia's strength lies in its ability to survive, adapt, and retaliate under any condition. Its systems, from the RS-28 Sarmat and Avangard to the Yazan-class submarines, are engineered not for show, but for certainty, the certainty that no enemy can attack without consequence. Where America's power projects outward, Russia's power looks inward, self-sustaining, defensive, and deeply strategic. And that's the paradox of modern power. Dominance today isn't measured by who can strike first, but by who can make the world hesitate. The greatest weapon isn't the missile that launches, it's the fear of what happens if it ever does. Both nations know this truth. Both operate under the same unspoken rule, that power, when balanced by restraint, becomes the ultimate form of control. So perhaps the real edge doesn't belong to either side alone. It belongs to the balance itself, the thin line of deterrence that has kept the world from crossing the point of no return. And that, in the end, is the true face of power in the 21st century. If you've made it this far, you already know, power isn't just about weapons. It's about strategy, resilience, and the choices nations make to shape the future. Here on WarTech World, we dive deep into that balance, the cutting-edge systems, the minds behind the machines, and the unseen strategies that keep global peace hanging by a thread. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to WarTech World. Every click helps us bring you more expert analysis, cinematic breakdowns, and detailed looks into the technologies redefining modern warfare. But now, it's your turn. Who do you think truly holds the edge, precision or power? Does America's digital dominance ensure control, or does Russia's endurance make it unbreakable? Tell us what you think in the comments below. Your insight helps shape the conversations that matter most. Because at the end of the day, understanding power isn't about taking sides, it's about understanding how the balance keeps the world in motion. Until next time. This is WarTech World, where technology meets strategy.